What is up, everybody, and welcome back. We are back, like Jack Black, but we're back. I don't know if that makes sense in any way, but we're there. Welcome back to the Scapolitano Show, guys. This was a fun episode. Happy Bad Batch Friday. My little daughter Omega's here. I'm joined with Star Wars Rick for our breakdown, and Domtober. Caitlin could not make it due to a family emergency, but we love her. We send our love to her. Yes. And the show must go on, like the people say in the dance world of the world.
So she could have a memory here. Here, I got some black series. There we go.
Some black series for her. She would have loved.
Yeah. She would have loved those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go cry in the corner, fetal position.
I'm all like wrecked out today.
I know. I forgot my cup in it. I have the cup. I don't have that shirt, but I have the Hunter.
This is a huge mug.
That is a big mug. How much I like that because I need more coffee in my life.
Yeah, it's huge, but I mean it suits perfect for Wrecker. So he's a big guy.
It does. I didn't know it was that big when I got it. It's humongous.
It's a weapon. You could just.
I can't wait. Till Hot Toys makes the Wrecker Hot Toy. How big that is going to be? It's going to be twice, like a size bigger than Hunter and.
Yeah.
Hunter and Echo.
Yeah, that's going to be a big figure.
So, my friends, what did you think of this episode today? We'll let Don go first.
Well, this episode, I thought it was, it was a kind of a filter episode. It also was a very important, meaningful episode too, because you got to see the Empire just taking over the whole universe, the galaxy. Because remember, they were with the Separatists back in the day. The Separatists were working for them undercover back in the day when, in the Phantom Menace, and when Palpatine was Senator Palpatine and all that. But now they're showing the true colors that they're just trying to take over the galaxy and want everybody to follow under their rule. And of course, people who aren't with the Empire, like the Chancellor that was on the planet Rexus, he didn't want to go through being like a puppet to the Empire. And it showed both sides, because think about it. The clones, well, that's Hunter and the guys and Bad Batch, they didn't want to work to free a Separatist because they used to fight against the Separatists. They weren't sure if he was had good intentions. They thought that it was a trap the whole time. Hunter and definitely Echo. Echo didn't like it because remember, Echo was the one that was captive and held captive like a Frankenstein creature, with all his mind being used to know all the clones' moves. So I can understand the way he felt, but in the end, we all seen what happened. That it all worked out in the end, and you can move forward because things change. Like sides do change, and it comes to show you in war. Sometimes the enemy becomes the ally because you have a common ground, and that's with everything,
Oh, he said it. He said the episode title, guys. He said it.
Common ground. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But it also had something to do with Omega too, as well, too, because Hunter is being an overprotective dad now to Omega because of the last few episodes with Cad Bane and Fennec Shan, and we know what Fennec Shan's about. That she's there to protect her because she gets paid to protect her, and we all know that Cad Bane is just for the money and doing his thing. We also know that they want Omega for experiment and then take her out. That's what they're looking to do. So I'm very, very intrigued to see what happens in the next 6 episodes. How they go about, if things are going to really start picking up. I still want to see more of Crosshairs. On what happens with him with the Empire, because now he's a useless piece of a useless clone because his abilities are gone because he got burnt. So we got to see what happens with that, but also has to see what happens with the rest of the Bad Batch. All the people who, like me, with all the theories that I do have, this and that, I know something big is coming at the end, and I know one of the Bad Batch is definitely going to sacrifice and die along the way because you don't hear anything of them down the road, like New Hope You don't see him. It's foreshadowed, but I had that feeling. But like I said, the last 2 episodes were great. This episode, it was great on a different way because of the understanding of how both sides work, and we finally know, like, we know a lot about Omega now. Why she's important, but there's still other things we have to learn. Why can't they go after Boba Fett? Boba Fett's a pure clone, unless she was spliced with Jedi DNA along with Jango, and that's why she's important to the Caminos. How do you say it? The resident of Camino.
Yeah.
There you go. The Caminos.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I liked it, and I don't put it up there with my favorite episodes of the season so far, but I put it up there because it had meaningful, needful things in the episode moving forward. I'm done.
I'm done. I had to wait till he cuts himself off.
Yeah, you gotta, I'll keep talking. It'll become the dominant show, and I'll talk it'll be 4 hours.
Because I don't know when to cut Dom off, and I'm like, should I cut him off now? And then he starts another one. I'm like, damn it, Dom, I can't cut you off now.
No,
keep going.
Just cut me off.
Now, Rick, what did you think of the episode, my friend?
I thought a lot of information wasn't presented to us compared to the last episode, with Cad Bane and Fennec. But this episode definitely was filled with action pack. I did like how when they were gonna rescue the Bad Batch was gonna rescue the senator, how they used stun rather than just the regular blasters. They used stun, because it just shows like how compassionate they are, against their brothers. It just shows that they don't want to kill them, and the Bad Batch, they know it's the chip and it's not their fault. So to me, like, I noticed that, like, that small detail. And then I just liked what they did with the Omega. They made her stay home. Well, stay.
Yeah, they made my daughter not compete in action.
Yeah, but they still did something with her. So some character development there. So now we know, like, she's very strategic. She stayed, and like she was playing the chess game in Star Wars, and she was really good at it, and she was just like winning against everyone, and it just shows that's like another
she paid the Bad Batch debts to Sid, so
yeah,
they're
so
paid
now
off, so they can take off. They're good.
I think they are going to take off now. I mean, it's like, I wouldn't mind seeing more episodes with like what's her name? Sid. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind, like, showing more filler episodes with like Sid and doing more missions like that. But I think this is like them saying, okay, they're gonna like take away from here, and they're gonna show us something else. Maybe the Bad Batch are gonna go to see Captain Rex now, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so not a lot of information happened in this episode, but it definitely was enjoying to see and very insightful.
Yeah, this episode was good. We're on Raxus, right? That's the name of it, Raxus.
Raxus.
Yes.
We saw it in the Clone Wars when Ahsoka went with Padme in season. I think it's in season 3 to see the Bontaris, and that's how we meet Lux.
Yes.
I wish we saw like maybe Lux, but Lux would be gone by the time on that planet anyway.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that now the Empire is moving into planets now, different planets that we have not seen or heard of in a while. And even with this senator that rescued, like, I felt so bad for him because he's like I could just see, like, the animation was right on this episode. Like, his face was like, what am I doing? Like, no, it's now I'm for the people. Like, there's no more separatists now. There's just the Empire, and everybody has this beef with the Empire now, starting with this planet, and I want to see, like, the rebellion doesn't start right away. Like, it started in Revenge of the Sith with Padme, with that deleted scene. It started there with Bail Organa and Padme, but I don't think it got any further than that. But now we don't have Kanan right now. We do not have Ezra. Sabine is little. Sabine. We don't have
the ghost.
Yeah,
Crew?
we don't have the Ghost Crew now. So to start the rebellion, Han Solo has to be small, right? I think Han Solo is not like an adult
No,
yet.
because this is 20 years. This is like 19 to 20 years before New Hope.
Yeah.
So it's still a lot of time. Like, all right, even though months have passed, because they showed months. Because remember a few episodes back with the bill that they owe Sid, it was like 6 months of bill. So they were there. So basically, it's closing in on maybe a year, over a year, that they're on the run and doing things, because time has to go by fast, because you can't just stay in the one year time. I'm hoping that next season with this, it jumps like maybe 5 years, and you see because the Obi-Wan series that's going to be coming next year is 10 years before New Hope. Han Solo, a Star Wars story, was 5 years before New Hope. Yeah, was it 5? No. Endor is 5 years before New Hope. Solo is 10 years before New Hope, because Solo was in his 22. He was 32 in New Hope. So the 10-year mark where a lot more things happen. So Maul is still running around. I'm still hoping to see Maul in this series, like towards the end of the season, maybe a surprise cameo or something down the road.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Star Wars, a lot of missing parts, which I love, because they could fill them in with the Bad Batch and other shows, and you could have the universe. You could have intertwining. Like if you go to Cassidy or Endor, if Bad Batch is still alive, 10 years down the road, they could show up in Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
you'll have live action Bad Batch, which I think I read something about a year ago that they might have been planning on doing that, because everything is connected, and they're trying to make everything connected. The comic books, the novels, the TV shows, the anime series, and the video games. So everything is one big unit. So you can, like, one thing is like the laying blocks of each thing, which is good.
That's amazing.
So,
yeah.
It would be good.
So amazing.
It would be good to see the Bad Batch live action, but I don't know who you would let them play. Tamir Morrison, I feel like, wouldn't fit those roles. Like, I love him playing Boba Fett, and definitely back then, he could have played the younger clones, but you would have to get 5 different actors to play Hunter, Tech, keep Echo, maybe.
You got the face recognition. They could put Tamir Morrison's face on them and have, like, he could, like, just the technology they got today.
Yeah.
They could do anything. So you could see maybe what they'll do is like face reconstruction, and have like Tamir Morrison blended in with somebody else, because they're mutants. They're mutant clones. So they're not exact clones. So their mutations could be a little different. Their facial, they could have Tamir Morrison's, some of his features, but maybe somebody else's feature in there. But look, down I got a feeling you're going to see, I don't think you're going to see the whole batch. I think you're going to see maybe 1 or 2 of the Bad Batch moving forward, like 10 years down the road. I think the other ones are going to die, and you're going to probably Hunter. Like I said, Omega is probably going to be the leader of the Bad Batch down the road, because I think Hunter will eventually die. I see Echo and I see Wrecker being the only ones left out of the team.
Yeah, it just depends what we see on the show.
Because look how close Wrecker is with Omega. That's like true. A big brother. That is a big brother if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And she has odds with Hunter because a father figure, but I could see Wrecker and Echo continuing down the road. Because Echo's such a great character, and they misusing him in the cartoon. They're not using him the way they should. Like, he has a couple of scenes here and there, and he was a big part of Clone Wars. So he actually should be more forward with the Bad Batch, and who knows what's going to happen. But I see just those 2 of the Bad Batch surviving, and Omega being the leader down the road.
I really
the opposite of Boba Fett. I like Tech too, but he doesn't like guns, man. So you could be smart, but in a war, being smart doesn't get you. You don't live in a war without having guns. Yeah, you can be smart doing moves and stuff like that, but you eventually need a weapon. You need to shoot to protect yourself. So I don't think Tech will survive, and I think Hunter is going to go out because it's just you can't have. Yeah, he's the leader of the Bad Batch, but if he's grooming Omega to be something down the road, and if she turns out to be something bigger, what everybody believes, and have all the characteristics of the Bad Batch, plus bounty hunter DNA, plus Jedi DNA, she's gonna be one bad chick. You
Thank
go
you.
down the road if yeah
Thank
yeah
you.
you're welcome. But like like I said, we'll see what happens. Like if they use her, if she shows up in the Ahsoka series, I can see her in the Ahsoka series,
I'll die.
or she'll be in the Ahsoka series. So she's what, 10 now? If you really think about it, she's like
I think she gotta be. I think she's like 6 or 7.
6 or
I don't
7.
think
All right,
she's
so
10.
so Boba Fett is older. Boba Fett's in his teens right now
Yeah.
because he was in Clone Wars, and he's like 13, 14, or maybe possibly 15. So she's maybe about 5 years younger than him, if you really think about it. Well, 6 or 7, whatever the thing is. I could see 20 years down the road, she'd be 24, 25, and making a name for herself in the galaxy. Like, she could be a badass bounty hunter Jedi. Who the hell knows? Like, something big for her down the road. And
Yeah, I think she's
Like
gonna
a-
be working for the good guys. She's just so pure.
Sure, she will. I think she will. She'll never change. But I think she'll definitely have an edge on her. Like she could hold her own, because she'll have all. Like I said, she'll know all the techniques that the Bad Batch gave her, plus
Yeah.
her dad's DNA. And
Yeah.
if, like I said, if they spliced it with Jedi DNA, she's gonna be like the ultimate, the ultimate soldier, the ultimate warrior. When the time does come.
Now, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. So in Star Wars, if you don't get a theme, I was talking to this with a friend of mine. She has her own theme now, which I love so much. I just love it.
Yeah.
I love it. In Star Wars, if you don't have a theme, and not everybody has a theme in Star Wars. Obi-Wan really doesn't have a theme. Anakin has his betrayal theme when he betrays and Revenge of the Sith. Ahsoka has her theme. The Bad Batch have their own theme, I think. And now Omega. We really don't get themes in Star Wars unless you're an important character.
Yep.
And because they just wouldn't make a theme and go, yeah, I'm going to make this girl a theme and not use her for down the line. So we're definitely going to see Omega again. Maybe in an anime. I don't know if they'll keep her animation or because now they're developing animation movies, which I love. I'm going to love it so much because I love the animation they have.
I can't wait.
Because with the live action, I don't think like I if they go live action, I wouldn't be disappointed in the Bad Batch. I would be all for it. But I really want to stay animated with the Bad Batch and Omega, especially Omega, because it's hard to find someone like her unless you put a wig or put a face swap. But I would rather have her stay in animation. Just like with Ahsoka, I was a little scared of Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka, but Rosario Dawson killed it, in my opinion.
Yep.
But Ahsoka, I think, will die in an animated show or animated movie. I don't think she'll die in live action.
Well, look at this. Saw Gerrera was animated, and they put him in Rogue One. He played an awesome part. I really wish they would have. He's coming back. They said that he might be coming back in the Andor series, which he signed up. So Forrest Whitaker is coming back, which is really cool. And I'm really disappointed that they never came out with an action figure of Saw Gerrera. That aggravates me because they had the whole Rogue, and they just re-released the whole Rogue One series for the anniversary, and there's still no Saw Gerrera. But look at Darth Maul. Darth Maul is a much more better he's a much better complex character in animated than he is in live action. So when he's in the animated, he's very compelling. When they brought him back in Solo, it was very surprising that they brought him back in Solo. So some people adjust to animated features better than they do with live action. Omega, they'll probably find an actress. There's a lot of actresses out there that there's a lot of Australian accents. Look at Chris Hainsworth. Look at all these actors that they get from Australia to play in the Marvel movies. There is a young actress out there that's going to look. Most likely, if Omega does come to a live action, she's going to be in her late teens, early 20s before that happens. You're not going to see her as a young kid. Maybe a flashback down the road if they do something, but there's going to be an actress that portrays her good down the road. And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are very good with that, and they'll find an actress that fits her to a T. And when they do, that's going to be something. When you see her, look, I would love for them to freaking have a live action Rebels. I know Rebels is over, but have a flashback with the live action, like the whole cast. Like, hopefully when Ezra does show up in live action, you can have a flashback and you'll have a couple of people.
In the Ahsoka show.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Listen, when I'm reading about the Ahsoka show, it's definitely going to have a lot to do with the world between worlds. But look, think about this. She's a girl at a time now. You have to look at it this way. She's like the Captain America of Star Wars. Think about it. She was pulled out of her time period. She was about to get struck down by Vader and pulled out. So that has to mess up a lot of things. And of what I'm hearing about the sequel trilogy, that they're trying to phase it out. I don't know how true that is, but there's a lot of connections moving forward. They want to build the sequel trilogy better, make it a better understanding. Because in the comic books and in the shows, they're putting little things that lead up to the sequel trilogy. And I know we're going off on a tangent and not talking about Bad Batch, but this has a lot to do with the future of Star Wars. The Bad Batch, you don't just make a group and put them and make a cartoon that no one really knew about, their clones, and add a new character in Omega and have a new story around brand new characters. Because people in Star Wars, they're very picky when it comes to making new characters. Like Rebels, it took 3 seasons almost for people to really warm up to Rebels and like Rebels much more. Because it started off as a kiddie show and it was really annoying. Ezra was the annoying young kid. Like you see, you have, like I said, all these young kids that Grogu, Omega, Ezra, Spectre 7, that they don't talk about anymore, which he's Force sensitive. So eventually they have to have it. They can make their young Avengers, if you really think about it, with all these young characters have in future movies down the road and future TV shows. They can have these characters show up, which will be really cool and really satisfying to Star Wars fans. I would love to have live action, all the characters that they showed. Grogu, I'm still trying to find out where the hell he came from, who saved him. That's another mystery.
I did.
So,
I saved him. Spoiler, I saved him. I just couldn't
say
him. I saved him.
That's how you stub your toe. You stubbed your toe like that,
right? I was like, damn it, Grogu, go.
But, well, look, Omega, there's a huge future for her. And the fans, a lot of the Star Wars fans really like her, because they do get annoyed with the young characters. But I just wish that, I'm wishing in future TV shows and stuff like that, they stop doing the thing with the young child, that the warrior becomes the father figure. Just do straight out action that no kid comes in between. I'm hoping that Omega is just the last one and they can do other stories without having a young Padawan, a young child, a young Force. Just soldiers, man. Do this military straight action without having a child, or a youngling or something to show that warriors can be, fathers and change their perspective on there's more than just war. And there is more than just war, but we've seen this already. We've seen this with the Mandalorian, that he was a badass bounty hunter going galaxy, and he met the child and he watered himself down. He became more of a father figure than a warrior. We've seen that with we've seen that now with Omega. We've seen that. These are the things they have to. That's what Star Wars does. They have the same trend, whatever works. And I understand that the children in the shows are for kids, but we are the kids. We're the adult kids that want to see adult stuff. Show it. Give it to us where we like it sometimes. And you can always do that down the road, but do other stuff. You know, instead of having, like I said, Ezra, Omega, Grogu, Spectre 7. Where are they? Where are they? In the future time.
With Ezra, I think we'll find out in the Ahsoka series because that's leading up to Thrawn and everybody.
Yeah.
Spectre 7 maybe Pierce because Hera is still alive in that time realm. Grogu is definitely still alive in the Ahsoka series. We'll just know his backstory through maybe someone. Maybe Luke will get it out of him, or we got it out a little of Ahsoka. Ahsoka realized he was from the Clone Wars and stuff like that. Yeah. And Omega, we just don't know because we see Omega now. So no one has mentioned about Omega. Fennec Shan is in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba. So we haven't heard her say anything or Boba Fett say anything about Omega.
Maybe she shows up in Book of Boba Fett. If it's Boba Fett's sister, maybe you'll have an appearance or a flashback of her.
Amazing.
You know, that would definitely be amazing.
That's
You know? Look,
just in
as
time,
of right now,
too.
Look, as of right now, do we know how many episodes are going to be for Book of Boba Fett? Is it 8? Because
I have no clue.
I think I have no clue. I heard 4, I heard 6, but now they're moving forward because there's a lot more stuff going on. So maybe 8, the same amount as Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I hope it's
5 or 6, maybe 8.
I hope so because you never have too much Boba, man. Never.
I just want to sit at Dom's house when he watches the Book of Boba and see what his. I just want to like sit in the dark room and just watch what Dom does. Like, what does he do? Does he spaz out when he sees?
I'd be like,
could ask Dom to do a reaction video.
Yeah,
like I want to see Dom's reaction videos.
This is me, like this, looking at the TV. They're moving back and doing this, and then doing this, going.
Now I want in this series of the Bad Batch. Do you think we'll get a Jedi at the end of the season?
Yes.
Any Jedi? Or next season?
I say yes.
I say this is what I say. If we find out by the end of the season that Omega is Force sensitive, yes, we'll get a Jedi at the end, which will lead to a cliffhanger. If she doesn't turn out to be Force sensitive, it's just that she is a special modified clone that, you know, the DNA that they use from Django, and they use both, maybe Boba's DNA in her too. They use both because Boba Fett, like this is my thing. I understand that she's a pure clone. So is Boba Fett. But you're willing to go after Omega with 5 people protecting her, then go after Boba Fett because he's by himself and he's missing. They don't know where he is because if the fight between him and Cad Bane happened, he was injured too when Cad Bane got injured, and I want to see that story, how Cad Bane survived that gunshot to the head.
They
just assumed that happened because of the last episode.
Did it graze his head and then he got shot too, and then Toto saved him? Took him up and took him someplace, something like that. Because if they show, there's no reason for them to show that he has a cybernetic piece on his head if that fight didn't happen. So that fight is actually canon, even though it wasn't fully made. It wasn't fully done. So that's pretty cool. I hope maybe in the future, maybe he shows up in the Book of Boba Fett and once and for all, he's older. Oh, I do have one bone to pick about last week's episode. I was reading comments and watching people's reactions that Fennec Shan easily took advantage of Cad Bane. Now, for the public record, Fennec Shan becomes the ultimate badass assassin. She gets hired by the Hutts down the road, and she makes a huge name for herself when you find out who she is in The Mandalorian. She's a fighter too. Cad Bane is older. He's slowed down. When he got hurt, remember, he's not fully, healed. Yeah, he has the cybernetic part on his head. But remember, that took a lot out of him. So he's a little slower on the fighting thing. And besides, he still kicked her in the face. He still got it. He did what he had to do. She threw him off the the balcony, and he used his rocket boosters, which was really pretty cool to do that. But people are saying he became the male version of Mary Sue, which I think what is it called again? The male version of Mary Sue. But my thing is that I give the benefit of the doubt to Fennec Shan because she's younger. She's only 28 years old or 26 years old at this time period. Because remember, she's 15 years older than Boba Fett because she's older, and so she's going to meet Boba Fett along the way. I think that her reflexes are much quicker for being younger compared to Cad Bane. Because Cad Bane right now, think about it. Him being hurt plus him being close to 50, I think. He's up there, like, not 50, but he's not young like he was.
Yeah, definitely a lot older now, yeah.
A lot older, and then him getting shot by Boba Fett kind of took a lot out of him, too. We don't know how long he healed. Remember that. How long, what happened? Like, we have to find out about that whole situation, and hopefully in the backstory down the road. But, yeah, I see Fennec Shan taking advantage of Cad Bane because she's much more agile and much more. She's younger than Cad Bane.
And I think definitely she's making a name for herself, and we're just seeing like how powerful she's becoming, and I mean eventually she becomes like Boba Fett's right hand person. So
yeah.
I mean, we're just seeing like how skillful she is, and like I mean, she's putting in the work, so we're seeing that. So, in the Book of Boba Fett, we're gonna find out more about her, but definitely like her skills are just showing off. So she's rising to the top, like bounty hunter.
I'll tell you
so,
one thing, she's becoming a favorite character of mine. She's definitely becoming a favorite character of mine because
I like
not
her.
only, I like when they create new characters and stuff like that, with characters that weren't there, because then you have a backstory down the road. They can make a comic book or a novel, and you can learn more about her backstory, who she is. I like that. And speaking about the backstories, the Boba Fett's War of the Bounty Hunter comic book, they wanted to use Fennec Shan in the comic book, but Disney told the writers of Marvel they couldn't because they have a lot of plans for her. So obviously a lot of plans down the future pipeline with Star Wars with her, and she's going to be something big in the Book of Boba Fett. Like that's what I'm saying. That Bad Batch. Remember when Bad Batch first showed up in Clone Wars, people they're like, all right, cool, Bad Batch. They wouldn't ask for a Bad Batch series. There's a reason there's a Bad Batch series.
Yeah.
There's a reason that they created. There's a connection tissue. There's a connective tissue with Bad Batch and future Star Wars stuff, and for them to tell that story, they had to do this animated series with Bad Batch.
Yes.
And introducing Fennec Shan, introducing Omega, introducing all these different aspects in a new surrounding in Order 66 that we never saw before. I have a feeling. You said a Jedi by the end of the season. I say Vader shows up at the end of the season because Vader is.
Well, if you look it up on Google, like the cast of the Bad Batch, Matt Lantern does come up.
Yeah.
I don't know if what's going to happen, like maybe a flashback of when Echo served under Anakin, or Rex comes back and gives him the breakdown.
Remember I think I mentioned in one episode how like this is like Legends information, how like Vader goes to the communal facility and just wrecks the place and destroys everything.
That could happen.
I think I would want to see that, and they would probably make that into canon. But seeing a Jedi in this show, maybe. Just I'm saying maybe because what if they go to Captain Rex, and how he mentioned like not all of the Republic is gone. He's referring to that he has friends. So like, what if we see Ahsoka with Rex? And like, who knows who's with Ahsoka? So it's like.
Well, I don't think Ahsoka's going to show up. You know why? Because she's in hiding. Because they will ruin the story plot of what they have for Ahsoka when she did make her return. Of what I read about the Bad Batch, they said there was a possibility of Obi-Wan, a possibility of Ahsoka. I see more flashbacks with those characters. I see Vader more front. I think the last 2 episodes are going to be Vader episodes. in Bad Batch, and I think the uprising with Camino is going to happen, and they're going to get wiped out because they are wiped out. And I think when the writer said that he cried with the last episode, that there's a really big emotional episode ending. I think Omega. Yeah, I don't think Omega's gonna. I don't think Omega's gonna die. I think she's gonna be around for a while. But I think what's gonna happen is that she is gonna go on her own path, or she's gonna become part of
Hunter's
either.
Gonna die. Hunter's gonna die.
I got a feeling.
Sacrificing
I know
himself from Vader, so that way Omega can escape.
Because that's why I think Omega has Jedi DNA in her, and she is definitely. Boba Fett's gonna come back. He's gonna show up in an episode where I think they're gonna have a Fennec Shan, Boba Fett, and Cad Bane episode. It could be where Cad Bane does die, but I'm hoping he doesn't. I hope he shows up in the Book of Boba Fett. I want to see him in live action, how badass he would be in live action. But we'll see what transpires. 6 episodes left, so hopefully by the second week of August we'll find out the entire, because you have the 4 episodes in July and then the episode that's gonna.
I think it's going into September, right? No.
You think so? No, 16. No. 16 episodes. Yeah. But there is going to be a season 2. I heard there's a season 2. So there was a season 2.
Yeah, they have to do season 2. They cannot.
I don't see this lasting 3 years. I think maybe 2 seasons and that's it, because there's only so much you can do. So what I think that they'll move fast forward. That this first season is about the beginning of Order 66 and the Bad Batch. I think moving forward in the future, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the road, that'd be cool to move the story, because then you could fill in the story in books and novels down the road on things that happened. You leave that time period open to fill in things to make it sensible stories.
Well, in an interview, I watched an interview with the showrunners of the Bad Batch, and so I think season 2 is definitely going to come, but maybe down the road, how many years? 2 years maybe. But I think they always say they have so much story to tell, and I think they do have a lot to tell about the Bad Batch, but other people's perspectives also, because we don't get people's perspective when the Empire took over. We get A New Hope, we get Rebels, but that's almost going into 78. That's we don't get what happened right after Order 66 and to the Rebellion Alliance. We don't get that. So I think they do have a lot of story to tell. I don't think it will be 2 seasons. I think it will be Rebels, maybe 4. Because I think they do have a lot of story to tell. I think the Bad Batch will be alive in maybe the Book of Boba. I think they're not all going to be there. I definitely think Hunter will be alive, unless Hunter sacrifices himself, which we all know that would be awesome to see just for Omega. But it would be sad because we like Hunter too. I don't see every Bad Batch surviving. If they do, I would love that. But I think the first one that would go, I think it's Crosshair. Crosshair is going to be the first Bad Batcher to go. And it's not because his chip is he's burnt now. I don't know how. I hope we see how he recovers maybe in an episode, and see if the Empire still uses him, and maybe that gets him thinking stuff I miss my brothers or something. Maybe his chip is a little broken, a little, probably maybe not. But there's so much story to tell with these characters, and so much more with other planets that the Empire has now started to take over. Just like this planet today, it was a Separatist planet, and now it's no more. It's all the Empire. And even with last episode, Echo said Cat Bane took the Chancellor Palpatine, and I don't think the Bad Batch doesn't even know Chancellor Palpatine is evil. They think he still runs the stuff, the programming and stuff like that, which he doesn't. He's the ruler of the galaxy, just also Vader. So I feel we're gonna get into maybe Palpatine, not Palpatine's story, but with the Bad Batch and stuff like that. I want the Bad Batch to know who Darth Vader is, who who's the ruler of the Empire now? The Imperials.
Look, you gotta look at it this way: that the Bad Batch, worked on the Anakin, so they know who Anakin is.
They do,
but they don't know that Vader was Anakin. They did that Anakin died, and look, you got all these stories that they're gonna intertwine now. They're gonna fill in all the little gaps, and with all the little gaps, they're gonna fill in to make the story complete, because there is a lot of story to tell, and that's what I'm saying with Star Wars. They'll do a season and then they'll have a huge break, like 5 years down the road. Which I hope the second season does take place 5 years down the road, because remember, 20 years the Empire ruled with an iron fist. So there's going to be a lot of story with the Empire, a lot of story with in between characters you never met before, and I'm thinking the Bad Batch is a great idea, but I'm hoping down the road like new characters come into the Bad Batch, like one dies and somebody else comes in the fold, like type of like kind of like the Avengers, where you have like one of the Avengers leave and one of the other heroes come in, because there's a lot of characters. There's a whole bunch of characters on the road, cool characters that we never met yet. People changing sides. Jedi's becoming dark side users. Maybe some Siths turning good. There's a lot going on. Like, look, yeah, Vader and Palpatine are the only Siths that are around now, but there are other ones that are hiding. Dark Force users, Inquisitors, all these things. We're gonna find out about the Inquisitors in the Obi-Wan series. Apparently, there's supposed to be a battle between Obi-Wan and an Inquisitor. So, and then if they do that Inquisitor series that they're talking about, that's gonna be badass, because you're gonna see a lot more character development and a lot more story, because there's so many gaps to fill. And that's why they like going back to the past, because the future is not there yet. We all know the future is not there yet. The past has so much to fill in, and then eventually they could stop and do something deep in the future. Like, look, as much as a lot of people didn't like the sequel trilogy with the characters, there's still a lot of character development on Rey, a lot of character development on Finn. A friend of mine will probably want to shoot me because he can't stand the sequel trilogy. He's disgusted by it. But I think, Disney made a big mistake the way they went about making the sequel trilogy. They wanted to make it for business purposes, because they said, oh, you put Star Wars on it, it can make money. And they didn't do story. But now moving forward, there will be a story. And if they do replace the sequel trilogy with a new sequel trilogy that comes later on and makes that Legends, we'll see. But I don't see them taking that away. I don't see the sequel trilogy going away. I see you building upon the sequel trilogy and making it much more tolerable to somebody. Like, they'll watch it like, okay, I understand why Rey was like that. I understand that this was like this, that Palpatine, the clone. Look, you already had the clone facility in Bad Batch. You had the clone facility in The Mandalorian. You had the clone facility in Rise of Skywalker. There's a connection with the clone facilities.
Yeah.
Yes.
An abandoned clone facility. Come on. Think about it. Palpatine has been trying to clone himself. Maybe they got some stuff from Palpatine. Maybe she has Palpatine blood too. Not
Omega's a Palpatine.
Like blood.
No, go fuck yourself.
No. I'm not saying maybe they got some DNA from Palpatine and they put it in her Omega. You don't know. Look, obviously there's something more to Omega than they're saying.
No, there is.
She's a pure clone, but pure with something special too.
I just like messing with you guys. I just throw that out there. Kaylee is extremely mad.
Don't do it, Rick.
Look, listen, let me tell you something. I don't get mad if you call it Palpatine, because my thing is that I wish they would have did the Dark Empire. That storyline with Palpatine, that would have been a better storyline than Rise of Skywalker. But it is what it is, man. Like, moving forward, I'm happy for what they're giving us. And I hope that Omega's future, who she is something really cool. That is not something that's been used already, and it's like, Jesus Christ, I can't deal with the things. Like I said, clones are gonna be around. Clones are a big part of Star Wars. So she's a clone, and she's the daughter of Jango because she's pure, just like Boba. So
Chris Cavoli.
Yeah, yes, Chris. Yes. Definitely.
I like
Her
how she's
last
the
name.
opposite of Boba. She's
So
just like
that's
the
what I'm saying.
opposite of
That
alpha.
you see, so my thing is that she's Boba's sister. That Boba Fett doesn't know that he has a sister, and look, you gotta look at it this way. Boba Fett was painted as a bad guy. He never really was a bad guy. But if you work for the Empire and you're ruthless, something happened. Something happened for you to be like that. So
Well,
that's what I'm trying to say.
he
That
saw his father died.
yeah, so exactly. His
So
father got killed by the Jedi.
Yeah.
By Mace Windu, and Mace Windu might come back. That they're talking about too to finish off that story arc to get a closure because people keep asking for it. Like the Book of Boba Fett might have a lot of things, or a story down the road in a comic book form that they show it. But the way I see things is that there is a reason behind everything in Star Wars, and Boba Fett went down a dark road for who he was. Why? For him to turn around and be an anti-hero to help Mandalorian save the child. It has something to do with Omega. Got it? It has to be. Because he finds out his sister. Look, think about it. He knew that his sister was a child. If he finds out later on. Grogu was a child. So maybe he didn't get a chance to save Omega. Maybe, God forbid, Omega did die down the road. And that's what turned him on a dark path, knowing that his sibling was killed. And he just became a ruthless, bounty hunter. Did what he had to do. And what changed him falling into the Sarlacc, giving him memories of back what Omega was. And that's why he told Mando, listen, I'll help you find the child. Give me back my armor and I'll help you find the child. So there's something to that story. And we'll find out. We'll find out, actually, we'll find out if Boba Fett's going to be good, if he's not going to be a ruthless crime lord taking over Jabba's palace, and doing his own thing. But
Yes.
I don't think so. I think they're going to turn him into an anti-hero. That's what they usually do. Disney loves to turn bad guys into anti-heroes, Loki and all the just characters alone. It's annoying too sometimes. Just make them badass. Thank God they didn't change Thanos. Made Thanos an anti-hero. They made him just pure crazy nut job Titan where he wanted to destroy the world. So
Yeah. That was
we'll
pretty
see.
cool.
But good.
Go ahead, Rod.
No. I was just going to say one thing. I said another thing too is that I've been reading about a lot of copyrights that Star Wars has been doing, and there's a lot of different things that when Star Wars signs copyrights for toys and posters and all these things, they have a copyright with Omega. So there's going to be a lot of stuff with Omega coming out down the road in future.
I hope so. I
future
want
stuff.
merch. I want statues. I want paintings, drawings.
Look, you got a shirt.
I know.
Mud flaps.
And look, my thing is that they have multiple Boba Fett stuff coming out, and definitely Rick is going to have to go to the Disney store and pick up some of the stuff. I mean, I'm definitely figuring
I'm on it.
Veto him the money or do whatever. I do want that Boba Fett, the helmet, the backpack, and the gauntlets. I want that. So let me know how much that is, and I will mail you the money. Because,
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, guys, our final thoughts. What's happening next week's episode? Dom, you go first.
I think the Empire is going to come back. I think we'll see Crosshairs again. I think we're going to actually find out more of Omega's abilities. I think you might see Omega use the Force with something. Maybe. I'm thinking that I would be surprised if she did, but I won't be surprised because now you know that she's a clone. I think you'll have. I think, me personally, I actually think they'll talk more about bounty hunters. I think the Empire is going to come back, and I think they're gonna. I think you might get another call of Boba Fett. Because I think Omega's going to find out. I think they're going to tell her, listen, you are a clone of Jango Fett, an altered clone. Jango is your father, but you also have a brother. And they might go look for Boba Fett. Could be. That's a reach. I'm hoping because they did say Boba Fett was going to be in the series. In an interview a long time, like a while ago when they were doing stories that you'll have potential characters showing up. And Cad Bane was a surprise. There was no mention of Cad Bane at all. That was so. If you have Cad Bane and he already had the duel with Boba Fett, and he has to come back to Boba Fett. So I think they're gonna hunt, and I think Cad Bane is gonna come back again, but not this episode. But I think Omega's gonna find out her origin and who she really is. I think she's gonna find out her brother is Boba Fett, and I think they're gonna try to find. She's gonna say, "Oh, I have a brother. We have to find him. I want to find Boba Fett." Boba, because he's Alpha. That's what I think. Because this episode had a lot of meaning to it. It moved the story forward, but I think her finding out that she has a sibling and her father was Django is going to be really more making the story move forward, and that's going to propel it to other things. But I do think Crosshairs is going to show up. I think it's going to be an Empire episode next week. And she's no longer, they're going to leave Sid. I think they're going to finally move on from Sid.
Yeah.
Because they paid off. Yeah, they paid off, so now they can do their own thing. They don't have to worry about doing things for her to try to pay off their debt. They can do their own things.
Okay. Rick, what do you think, my friend?
I'm just gonna copy and paste everything Dom said. I mean, I'll just add that. I mean, Omega is a Palpatine, and
go to hell, Rick. Go somewhere.
But no, in serious.
Omega?
Yeah,
Omega?
You too, Dom. You too. And when she's not, I want my coins.
We're just gonna see Palpatine come back and take rightfully ownership of his.
I am the Senate.
But definitely, we're gonna see the Empire again. We gotta see Crosshair. I mean, we gotta see, like, I feel like the next time we see him, it's gonna kind of be like the final moments between him and the Bad Batch. Just a feeling.
I think too.
But
I think too.
Yeah, Cad Bane. Yeah, I think we might see him again, and I could definitely see that story. Between Boba Fett. I mean, it'll definitely be a perfect setup for the Boba Fett show this fall. Winter, fall,
December. It comes out December.
December, the winter.
So
21st,
okay.
December 21st.
Winter is coming.
Dom knows it all. Anything Boba Fett, Dom knows. But so I think that would be a perfect setup for that. We'll see. Next episode.
Yeah, next episode. My predictions. Omega's not a Palpatine. God damn it. I definitely think she does have some of his DNA because it's written right all over her face and her hair and how she looks. Like, you could see it. Like, she does have something with Palpatine. I hope it's nothing evil. I hope it's nothing to do with Palpatine at all, but it does look like a Palpatine clone because it's the hair. Like, you could just see her in her face. I hope it's not. I hope we're lying to each other, but that's another option.
Because she's like a Phase 1 clone, right? Just like Captain Rex.
No. What? No, she's not. She's a pure clone. She's just a pure clone. No chip, no nothing. So she was spliced from Django's DNA, just like Boba Fett was. But she has to have some other DNA in her too. She's a pure clone of Django, but experimented on with something else, and that's why I think they want her because of that. Because, like I said, you're gonna go after Omega,
right?
With 5 people guarding her, and not go after Boba Fett, and not even mention about Boba Fett. So there's something special about her, more than just the being a pure DNA clone of Django.
Yeah.
So there's Jedi DNA in her.
Yeah, I definitely think she is Force sensitive.
Yeah.
To an extent, I don't know what she has. I don't know from whose DNA, from whose Jedi DNA she got to. But I think next week's episode we'll see the Empire. I don't think they're done with Sid yet. If they are, then that's good. I like Sid. I think she's funny to the show.
Yeah. I think they'll come back for like a favor,
Yeah, they'll come back, or she has another mission with them and says,
Maybe.
Here, this is your last mission with us. Do this or go here, go there. Because now like it's wind down a little with the story, not the storytelling, but like this was a relaxer episode. Like it was okay. We got the senator. All right, now me and Omega are gonna play a game of monster heist, and whoever wins the strategy game, we're gonna go somewhere else now. So they have to wait for another assignment because they don't know where to go. The Bad Batch. They don't know where Captain Rex is. We always know where we can just call Rex on the thing or something like that. Or like Rex even says, you know where to find me. They might go with Rex. I would love that if they do. I hope we see Wolf, Gregor, without their chips. Maybe we'll get some more clones that don't have the chips. Or maybe some clones, maybe now the Bad Batch go on their own little hunts. All right,
the clone that they showed for the figures, the toys that came out, it was another clone that he was like a new guy.
Yeah, so maybe a new guy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking my thing too is that they could probably meet up with Rex or meet up with them, and I think that, like I said, Omega's got to learn who she is, and I think she's gonna find out who she is, and I think Sid. She has formants all over the place. They could probably find where Boba Fett is. They could probably actually find where Rex is. She has all those things. I think that they're going to move on from Sid now. I think, the comic relief type of thing with Sid calling tech goggles and Hunter bandana and all these things. I enjoy it, and I know they have to have their kid moments there and stuff like that to make it to the kids and stuff. But I think it's going to take more of a serious tone now moving forward. In the next 6 episodes, we got to find out a lot more about the inner workings of the Empire. Order 66. You might see Palpatine. You might not. You might see, like I said, Crosshair is definitely his foreshadowing on his way out. And that's what I'm trying to say. That now that we know who Omega is, I could see them trying to hunt Boba Fett. Because think about it, Boba Fett would love to know he has a sister. He was he has his. I think we're going to see more bounty hunters. I think we're going to see Boba Fett. I think we're going to see maybe not this episode, but more towards like maybe closer to the end of the season. But I foreshadow that now. I think it's going to be the hunt to try to find Omega's brother, and because that's a big plot right there. Why wouldn't she want to find her brother? She doesn't want to go back to Camino. Definitely, she doesn't want to go back there. So they have to go on the run. They can't just keep laying stagnant. And now that she played the game, all these people from all over the place were playing the game with her, knowing who she is. You don't think one of the people go, "Oh yeah, Omega's here." Yeah. I think the Empire's going to come to Sid's place, and I think wipe out Sid's place.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that.
Yeah.
I think that will definitely happen. Or they go on another field trip, and Sid's there alone with the Empire, and just wait for the Bad Batch to come back, and now they're trapped or something like that. But I definitely see that. Any more final thoughts before we head out?
Rick?
Can you hear me? Nothing, Rick?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything. I'm just excited for next episode, and
Me
these
too.
last
I
episodes.
just have one more thing. Omega is Force sensitive. That's all I have to say. I always been saying that, so I just believe it.
Omega is a Palpatine. There we go.
Go fuck yourself, Rick. Literally, Rick. I'm gonna come to California and kick your ass. I'm gonna go punch you in the throat.
Okay.
I thought.
My final words is that I think I thought before that she wasn't forced. I thought maybe she might be a more computerized, more machine, like some kind of a cyborg type of clone splat, and have that. And she's much more of a for a robotic army of humanoids. But going closer and reading more on it, I think she is force sensitive, and I think that's why they want her in Camino. They want to take her DNA and they want to make a force sensitive army and show, listen to the Empire. Here's your clones. They're force sensitive. They can fight the remaining Jedis, and you can have the ultimate power in the galaxy. But I don't think it's going to get to that point. I actually think what's going to happen is that I think Palpatine is going to find out that she is force sensitive, and he's going to want her for herself. And that's why I think the Caminos are going to get wiped out. Definitely get wiped out. she's going to be on the run with the Bad Batch, and they're going to hunt for Boba. And I think Vader is definitely going to be more involved moving forward. Force sensitive being, think about it. You have that, and if she is force sensitive, the Bad Batch have to tell Rex, and Rex can get in touch with Ahsoka. Cal Kestis is still out there. He's young,
Yeah.
Cal Kestis. There's others like Quinn and Voss, right? Voss. He's out there. There's a few Jedi that are still out there that are in hiding, and we might see somebody that we didn't expect to see. Obi-Wan, he's out there, and Bail Organa is out there. They're building so there's a lot of threads that are happening for the rebellion and for the Jedi Order and all these things. That's why I think she is the link to something bigger, and that's why she's very important. And that's why I think the Empire are going to find out who she is. And when they do, they're going to specifically go after her, because they're just saying, eliminate the Bad Batch, kill her. Why would you, once you find out what she's about, Palpatine's like, nah, I need to be cloned. I need that technology. I need her or something. So we'll see. She's not a Jedi. She's a clone. So why would they want to wipe her out? She's not a Jedi. She might have Jedi DNA in her. So we'll see. And I'm looking forward to the next 6 episodes. And I'm looking forward, like I said, to go. I hope she does go on a journey to find Boba. To find that she has a brother. Find out that she's not the only one. And I hope Bad Batch tells her, listen, you have a brother. His name is Alpha, codename Boba Fett. And they do that next week. You'll see me. Reaction video, tears crying in my eyes, cut my eyes, blowing my nose. But yeah, look, I'm happy for the way the show's going. Yes, you always have to have the slow moments for something bigger, and something bigger is coming. And we'll see.
Bigger than me.
Bigger than his
All right,
whole
my
damn
friends.
friggin' outfit.
All right, my friends. Dom, where can everybody find you on the social medias?
IG at Domtober. I have all my pictures on there and videos and stuff that I do for Fed Time. So
Always Fett time.
come check out the videos. Come check out the pictures on IG, and then future doings like YouTube. So I'm working on that as we speak.
Oh, Domtober.
Awesome.
Domtober, definitely.
Domtober. It's bedtime.
Rick, where
It's
can
Fett time.
everybody find you on the meteors?
Instagram, starwars.rick. Twitter, starwars_Rick. And TikTok, Star Wars Rick. Cool.
There you go, guys. Happy Bad Batch Friday. Thank you to Dom. Thank you to Rick.
You're welcome.
You guys know where to find me on the social medias. There's only one Christopher Scavolitano in the world of worlds. There's no one out there like me, unfortunately. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you guys subscribe down below to the YouTube channel, The Scavolitano Show, for more fun unboxings, reactions, breakdowns, Omega-ness, Grogu-ness, Ahsoka-ness, and all that Star Wars jazziness, guys. Jazz hands, Rick, jazz hands. Be kind to one another, guys, and may the Force be with you. Always.
Always.
Bye.
In my life, when you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what.